Oi, well, second video, use of English, grammar part, and probably this is a part that you say that you know it, right? The Doctor House, uh, the Doctor's House attitude. Well, this comes in grammar because when we have the students and they say, oh, I think grammar is going to be easy for me because we have been studying grammar and I know all. But then they come to this part and they realize that the exercises are totally new and that, hey, it's not enough just knowing the grammar. You need to know the technique. And this is what we are going to do today in this masterclass, in this video, and then we are going to practice. So, what are we going to do in this video? First of all, we know that we came from the reading part, okay? The use your head. Now we are going to the grammar part, and this is the sacred grammar. And let's see, what are we going to discover? Well, we are going to discover what is the use of English for the first certificate. We are going to know every tip we need to pass the exam. We are going to learn about the common mistakes, and we are going to get our hands dirty, which means that at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some exercises to practice. Okay, great. Now, let's go. The first part of the use of English. This is the typical exercise. The same as it happens with the reading, that we have the traditional exercise that everyone has done. Now we have the traditional exercise for use of English. Text plus options. What is the difficulty maybe in this traditional exercise is the vocabulary. Again, what happens is that they say, okay, choose the best option. These are the options. And you say, oh my gosh, but the words mean the same. Yeah. They give you words that they are very similar, but I promise there is always a subtle difference. Sometimes it's not about meaning, sometimes it's about the grammar, like paying attention to the prepositions or what are the linking words we need. So this part is a lottery. You don't know what is going to appear. You don't know if it's going to be easy or not. For many of my students, this is a difficult part because of what I told you, the vocabularies. For some of them, it's easy. Depends. It depends on people. I would say that this part is really hard because if you don't know the word, you are guessing, and which means that you are not going to be sure about your answer. So, how to do this exercise? Well, we have to pay attention to the prepositions because they are the key. They give you the text, they give you the blank, and then they give you a preposition here. Ow. And then they give you the options. If you see the options, there's going to be only one option that can go with that preposition. That's why we are going to learn prepositions in this master class, because prepositions are essential, not only for this exercise, also for part 4 of the use of English. Okay? Then, meaning, phrasal verbs, and collocation. The meaning of the words, hey, if we know the meaning, easy. Phrasal verbs, I know you hate them. Most of students hate phrasal verbs. You know there are dictionaries of phrasal verbs? Yeah, one day I'm going to show you the dictionary of phrasal verbs. Maybe in the next video. Then, and the collocations. Collocations are a pain in the ass. Why? Because in Spanish, we don't have this kind of. We have our Spanish collocations, but some English collocations for us are like, we don't understand them. So that's why collocations, remember, are words that go together, but there is no grammar explanation for that. So we have to learn them by heart, okay? Then, remember, there is always one answer that fits best. You will say, no, but why? I think this one is also easy. Is also possible. Yeah, but there is something in the meaning, or there is something with the preposition. Doesn't work. Okay. Then again, do not leave any answer without option. Guess. Hey, guess. If you don't know, just guess. All right. Then look at these girls. Oh my goodness. Okay, they are telling us again that the time flies. So my recommendation is this part. Maybe you can do it at the beginning of the exam because if you don't know, you have the opportunity to mark any answer, okay? And so you go fast with this part, okay? Or some people would say, okay, as this part is just sometimes is guessing, I can leave it till the end. Also possible, okay? Sometimes maybe you can leave this part till the end of the exam, you do the others, you focus on the others that really need more concentration, and then you leave this one till the end, for the end, okay? Okay, now, example of this. Look, here I gave you, as usual, text with the possible answers. Here in the first one is although, well, obviously you say, well, but although and however are synonyms. Yeah, but remember that, for example, however, it's a word that if it is at the beginning of the text or of the line, you need a comma. And here you don't have it, okay? One idea. Then in the second exercise, in the second part, you will see that the answer is afraid. And here the preposition is essential because you have of. And the only option that can go with of is afraid. Okay? Great. Don't worry because prepositions is going to be something that we do together. Okay, great. Now let's go. Be careful. Look at this. Do not be like this rat. Poor thing. Look, what happens? Some people think that just because this part is the typical thing of choosing the option is the easiest. I promise it's not. It's not the easiest part because if you don't know the vocab, if you don't know preposition, it's going to be really hard. So, again, do not be like the rat. Pay attention to what you are doing and study. You need to study. Okay, great. Part 2, open, close. I love this exercise. For me, it's the funniest. You know, use of English for me, it's amazing because for me, it's like a game. I always tell my students, hey, come on. If you have nothing else better to do, you know what you can do? Use of English because it's fun. It's like doing Sudoku or not. Yeah, it's like puzzles. So sometimes I tell them, hey, come on, practice doing use of English. Have fun doing use of English because it's like a game. And you know what? Some people start hating use of English when they start the course, but then they love it because it's really fun. It's just a lot of knowledge there. Okay, use of English part 2, open, close. We have a text. They give you blanks and they say complete. They don't give you options. They don't give you options. It's just your knowledge. But I'm going to give you some ideas. Hey, when you have to complete the text, you are not going to write big words, no big nouns. I mean, there is no going to be an answer that is house or table or Monday. No. No, these kind of words. The words that you are going to need are prepositions, phrasal verbs, modal verbs, auxiliaries, linking words, articles, relative pronouns, and comparisons. If you take this list, you have it next to your notes and you work with this list all the time, it's going to be easier. Okay? Yeah. I promise you, there is always a linking word. However, although, but there is always a preposition because they give you the word, they want the preposition. Sometimes some phrasal verbs, always articles. You always have relative pronouns like who, where, which. No, the words start to be repeated. That's why it's so important to practice. If you practice, you will realize that the words appear all the time the same. And always, every time that you're practicing with a different test, you will find the same answers. Okay? That's why in this masterclass and in the workshop, we work this part and I give you the tips. And I'm always telling you, hey, pay attention. This word will appear. Take notes. Okay? Great. Then, look at this example. Again, you have here words, and I'm going to give you time. I mean, my recommendation is you pause here the video, you pause it, and you see and you read the example carefully. As you can see, you have a sentence, and you have to complete with only one word. Pay attention, only one word. Some people, at the beginning, they start writing 2 words. No, only one. Okay? Great. Then, the most important thing, you have to read from the beginning till the end of the sentence. Because it's not just reading, oh, till the beginning of the blank. No, no, no. You have to read the other word. There is always a connection. Okay? Then pay attention to the plural forms of the pronouns, because sometimes you write the word is great, but you missed the S of the singular, for example. Okay? And then you have no points. Okay. Another important thing, the words that come before and after the gap are essential. They are going to give us the kind of word we need. Okay? Well, and we always have to read the whole text when we finish to check that everything makes sense. Good. Now, use of English part 2, word formation. I would say that this is the easiest part. I love this part. At the beginning, the students, when they start doing this course and they start with this exercise, they hate it because they start like inventing words. Okay, they create new words, and it's so fun to listen at you when you are saying everything with mission, communication, transformation, elevation, supination, everything. For you, it's always the same ending. Okay, what happens? For this exercise, they give us a text, they give us some words, and they say, write the word, but transforming the word so the sentence has and makes sense. Yeah, you don't have to change the position. Okay, the word is in the right position. The only thing you have to do is to transform it. For example, let's read the example together. It says here, the site of the town of Winchester was a place. Hey, a place. So we have place, that is a noun, and then they give us a blank. And we know that before a noun, the only possible option is an adjective. So we have to know what is the adjective that comes from nature. Yeah, the adjective is natural. Okay? So this is what you have to do. Think of the kind of word. If they give you, guys, pay attention, if they give you a noun and then you have to complete, probably you will have to do it with an adjective, with an adverb or verb, not another noun. If sometimes they give you an adjective and you discover that you need another adjective, probably it's going to be the opposite adjective. Like, for example, they give you advantage and then they say, and you discovered you need also advantage in the sentence. It's never the same word, so you have to write disadvantage. Okay, so what happens? That you have to think what kind of word you need. You have to think if it is negative or not. You know, before 2015, I can say that in this exercise there was always one negative word. Nowadays, it's not so clear, but I recommend you to read it again because probably there is a probably. Okay, then if you need an adverb, most of the adverbs in English finish in ly. Most of them. So how do we make an adverb? We make it with the adjective plus ly. So pay attention. They are not going to give you the adjective if you need the adverb. They're going to give you any kind of word and you will discover that you need the adverb. So the first thing you have to do is to think, what is the adjective? And to that word, add ly. Okay? For me, my recommendation, this is just technique and managing of time. As this is the easiest part, maybe I will do it first. Okay? Because, you know, it's good when you have an exercise that is easy to do it first. So you know that, okay, I have these points. I have it right. I have these points at least. Okay? Great. Then just to remind you, and this is important, if you don't know what is a noun, a verb, an adjective, and an adverb, it's going to be difficult to do this. So I recommend you to review. Let's do it together. What is a noun? A noun is a person, a place, or a thing. What is a verb? It's an action word or something you do. And an adjective is a word that describes a noun. And an adverb that doesn't appear here is a word that describes an adjective, a verb, or another adverb. Okay? Great. This is like the basics to know how to do this exercise. I promise at the beginning it seems hard, but then when you practice, you will know the words. And the words are also really repeated. Great. Example, again, you see the advantage that I told you before, the negative advantage. Then we have photographers, they give you the noun, but they say, hey, you realize you need another noun, but you need a person. And remember to write the plurals. Pay attention to plurals and singulars, always, always. And then the last one is celebrities. I have to tell you, this example is not so great because you don't have all the time these transformations from noun to noun. Sometimes it's harder than that. And then the last part. Okay, ready? You know, this is the most difficult, but for me, it's the best, the most entertaining. Why is it so difficult? Because here the work, it's amazing how to do. Look, they give you a sentence, they give you a word, they give you another sentence that is not complete, and they say complete the second sentence so that it has the same meaning or very similar meaning to the first one using the word involved, and do not write more than 5 words, between 2 and 5. And you say, oh my gosh, how many instructions? Yeah. Okay. Oh, the most difficult. But it's really important because they give us 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Remember not to write more than 5 words. Remember to review the spelling and the tenses. Pay attention. If they give you a sentence in past, you have to write it in past. Obviously, because we have to write something very similar. If they give you names like Chloe was having fun, then you have to write, and you have to write the name. It's not possible to write she. You have to write Chloe because we have to write something very similar. Okay. You have to study grammar. It is the only way. Advanced grammar, let's say, obviously you're not going to have a present simple sentence, but I recommend you to study at least report to speech, passive voice, conditional sentences, wish, structures after wish, past perfect, present perfect, obviously if you don't know it very well. And I think with these ideas is more than fine. Okay. And remember that contractions count as 2 words. Okay. Yeah, it's important the number of words we write. Everyone hates this exercise, but then you start managing it. Okay. Remember to keep it very similar to the first sentence. They want you to think of something similar. Then it requires more time. So my recommendation maybe is to do the first exercise first. The easiest exercise first, but the easiest for you. I mean, okay, hey, I told you, for me, exercise 3 is really easy. Maybe for you is horrible. Okay, so my recommendation, first, the exercises that are easy for you. So at least we have the points. And then we are going to do this exercise. Yeah, because this exercise requires more time and more concentration. Okay, then be careful with singular and plurals. People always make mistakes here. And the typical topics that I told you before, but I repeat, are report to speech, passive voice, phrasal verbs. Always you have a phrasal verb. Modal perfects, modal verbs, perfect in the past. Again, very important. Try to study them. Then, obviously, if you need help, if you need topics, if you don't know, if you don't understand, please ask me. Okay? And conditional sentences. And collocations. Well, collocations, yeah, maybe not as much as in the first or second exercise, but yes, sometimes. Example. So as you can see, you see the first one, it says, I haven't seen Sven for 5 years, and then we have last. And they say, it's 5 years, this is what they gave us, since I last saw Sven. So this is the way you have to do it. Again, I recommend you to pause the video here to read all the examples and to see if you feel now, after all this, like, oh my gosh, I have no more energy, please, Daniela, stop. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, interesting. Write in 1 minute what you have discovered in this video. What is the most difficult exercise for you? And remember to take notes because it's the only way to remember the things. Okay, I give you 1 minute. Okay, let's see. You finished? You wrote all your comments? I really, really want to see them. Okay, now, lights, camera, action. Let's practice. Okay, please download the use of English test that you have here. Okay, try to do it in 25 minutes. Be honest with yourself. Okay, try to set the time. If you didn't have enough time to finish it, just let me know. Okay, then do not use dictionaries. Again, remember that we are in the challenge part, okay, in this masterclass. And send me the answers, as usual. Okay, finishing. Almost there. We are finishing the masterclass. But remember that after this video, we are going to see testing, 1, 2, 3. And probably you know that we are going to speak about the listening. So I see you soon. Go and play it.